Spikers Turf starts today. We have 4 teams returning from last year and 2 new teams coming in to fight to see who will make it or who will be the top men's volleyball team in the country. Of course, to start things off today, we have the Alpha Insurance Protectors going against the AEP Cabstars for Game 1, Day 1, where power meets passion. Welcome to the Spikers Turf.
The country's best men's volleyball players make their way to San Juan as we welcome the Insurance Protectors. First game, and like what Ayana said, first day of the Open Conference. And there are your Cabstars making their way here to San Juan all the way from Cabuyao, Laguna. And it's going to be an interesting day as we present to you our triple header. We kick things off with the Alpha Insurance Protectors taking on the AEP Cabstars. That is the first game today. Second game, VNS taking on the first runner-up in the Open Conference last year, the Crisscross King Crunchers. And then game 3 today, 3B taking on the third placers of the Open Conference from 2025, the Spin Doctors. Hi everybody, thanks for watching us on One Sports Plus Pilipinas Live. Eric Pan alongside Jamie La Victoria. We'll be talking again to Ayana Perlas in just a little bit, but it's a great day for men's volleyball. Jamie.
That's right. Exciting times. It's a new year and new season, and I'm just excited to share new stories here in the Spikers Turf.
Oh, we've got a lot of stuff to tell you about all these great players participating in the Open Conference of the Spikers Turf in 2026. Let's talk about the teams who will be playing this season.
Now, there are 4 teams that have played already in Alpha Insurance, the Crisscross King Crunchers, Safaj, and VNS. They all played last year, but we have 3B Event Masters who played in the 2024 season and the Cabstars in the 2023 Invitational Conference. So exciting times that we will have a new champion this year.
Yeah. Without the Signal Super Spikers, so we will, like what Jamie said, crown a new Open Conference champion. So like what we were talking about before the start of this game, it's a wide open race for the championship. And how do they get there? Here's the tournament format.
That's right, Eric. Let's discuss that tournament format. And for the preliminary round, the 6 teams will go through a double round robin. Now, after that, the top 4 teams will then enter the semifinals. And in that semifinals, they will go through another single round robin. And the top 2 will enter the championship series, which is a battle of 3 series. And also, the battle of third is also a best of 3 series.
That's right. So there's going to be a lot of men's volleyball for all you volleyball fans. It's going to be interesting to see who will come up. Although obviously the heavy favorites are the King Crunchers for sure, first runner-up, and the champions of the Invitational Conference from 2025. All right, let's talk about the teams. Let's start with the Insurance Protectors. They are slightly tweaked, slightly improved with the addition of some key players, some veterans in the Spikers Turf.
That's right, veterans in terms of J.M. Ronquillo, Jao Umandal, the Open Conference MVP, and number 23 and Chris Silang, the best setter. They will play alongside JJ Havalona and also Billy Anima. So a lot of free agents were able to fill in the gaps of the remaining teams here in the Spikers Turf.
Obviously, Super Spikers, those names coming from Signal, including Chris Sean Silang. So it's going to be interesting how they gel together and how will they do it. Let's find out. We spoke to their head coach, Mike Santos, a while ago. Let's hear his thoughts.
Dahil sa addition siguro ng mga taga-signal. So, ganoon pa rin naman katulad ng nakarang conference. Fighting pa rin kami for Final Four. Hindi pa namin masabi kasi kailangan pa namin makita muna lahat ng kalaban. Then, we'll get from that. Tingnan namin kung ano yung possible na talagang pwede namin magawa para makalusot for Final Four. Expect na mas ma-action ng labanan ngayon. Mas malalim ang bench namin. So, I think mas magiging kami ngayon, competitive kami ngayon kumpara nung unang dalawang conference.
That's right. This is the third conference for the Insurance Protectors. And I think Coach Mike Santos hit the nail on the head, so to speak, because the dispersal of Signal Super Spikers, a lot more talent allotted to the other teams, which makes the field more competitive.
That's right, more competitive, and the level of play is much higher. But I liked his mindset and him saying that they'll take it one game at a time and aim for the top 4.
All right, let's talk about the Cabstars of Cabuyao. And this team, obviously, just their second conference. They first participated in 2023, but they have some familiar names in this lineup.
That's right. We have number 5 in EJ Casanya, number 9 J-Rack De La Noche, and number 13 in Nas Guazad. Like I mentioned earlier, a lot of gaps were filled in these teams, and they will definitely provide a lot of stability in this fairly new team here in the Spikers turf.
Now, what does this team bring to the fore, bring to the competition? We also spoke to their head coach, Christian Antiporta. Let's watch this.
Yung team composition ngayon ng Cabstar is composed of young players. Meron kaming mga senior high school, and also yung core namin na naglaro nung last na conference. So, plus yung mga veteran namin na additional dun sa team namin. Feeling ko exciting siya kasi yung additional sa team medyo nag-strength siya. So, medyo lumakas yung floor defense namin. Di ba? Hindi naman siguro papahuli kami dun sa ibang teams.
Well, according to Coach Antiporta, the core of this team are all from Cabuyao, some from around the area as well, but definitely Laguna, and of course including some of the players coming from the Signal Super Spikers.
That's right, Eric. He did mention that the team is fairly young, so they are young, which means they have a lot to learn and more room to grow as well.
All right, if you find an idol you like, a player you like to talk about, don't forget to use the hashtag SpikersTurf2026 on Facebook, X, and Instagram. And now we will send you over to Coach Mac Gabuela for the lineup of both teams.
Spikers Turf Open Conference, where power meets passion. Match number 1 features our Alpha Insurance Protectors and newcomers to our league, our AEP Cabstars. Presenting our national officials for this match. First referee, Mr. Fernando Velarde. Second referee, Ms. Justine Navidad. Let's call on our starting lineup from our Alpha Insurance Protectors. Let's begin with their team captain, who wears jersey number 16, Jefferson Apunyawan. At number 3, Billie Jean Anima. Wearing jersey number 6, John Michael Apolinario. At number 15, Edward Camposano. Number 18, Romelito Baptista. And number 21, Ranz Wesley Cajolo. Starting libero is number 4, John Maru Takeda. And head coach, Mr. Fritz Michael Santos. Calling on our AEP Cabstars. Let's begin with jersey number 5, Gabriel EJ Casanya. At number 9, Jaira de la Noche. Wearing jersey number 12, Paul Brian Malaiba. Number 13, Mafena Guaza. At number 14, Rubens Abrot. And number 18, Michael Christian Doria. Starting libero is number 24, Vince Patrick Lorenzo. Head coach, Mr. Christian Antiporda. This is the first match of the Open Conference of the Spikers Turf, where power meets passion.
Welcome back to San Juan as you look at the starting lineup of the Insurance Protectors. Billy Anima, Kel Apolinario, Edward Campuzano, Jepoy Abunyawan, Romelito Baptista, and Rans Cajolo. Meanwhile, Nas Guaza part of the starting lineup of the Cabstars, including EJ Casanya, their starting setter, Jairac de la Noche, PB Malaiba, Vince Abrot, and Michael Doria. Gonna be interesting to find out, especially for the Cabstars, just their second conference, but they're now bolstered, like what you saw, what Jamie mentioned, by some key players from the Super Spikers, EJ Casanya, Abrot, Guaza, and Lorenzo. And they're all on the floor right now for the red shirts.
You know, it's interesting because there are a lot of new elements here for Cabstars, and you can see that coach is already implementing them early on here in the Spikers turf.
Baptista from Chiang Kai-shek High School, played for Adamson for a couple of years.
Good serve.
And gets an ace. Nice start here for Coach Mike Santos. And the Insurance Protectors is the way you want to go.
That serve with the help of the net right behind Guaza.
So that is the first point of the Cabstars.
Baptista trying to target the same target in Guaza, zone 4.
Vince Abrot, former CSB Blazer. Thunderous serve. Off-system play. Camposano is rejected.
And he is blocked at the net here in set number 1. Good press by Guaza.
So a 2-point run for the Cabstars to tie the game here in the opening set. A good pass, although there's a net touch by Kel Apolinario.
It's unforced error by Alpha Insurance here. Yes, scraping the net after that set.
So 3 in a row scored by the red shirts of the Cabstars. A much better pass. Cajolo off the block. That's a side out for the Insurance Protectors.
That is off the block on that swing here. Let's take a look at that one more time. Off the block by Guaza.
Former spiker from LaSalle, Billy Anima, serves it outside. Now Nastin Guaza, the Nigerian, started playing volleyball when he was 5 years old.
Good serve.
Apolinario to Cajolo, and back-to-back points for Rans Cajolo.
Cajolo, what a swing coming from him. A broken block from AEP Cabstars. The offense is really put more on the right pin. We're talking about Alpha Insurance.
So far, a good exchange between these two teams, but a couple of easy points gained by the Cabstars off service faults by the Insurance Protectors.
Already 2 missed serves coming from Alpha Insurance.
A former Golden Spiker of UST. J-Rock de la Noche will get an ace.
Already 3 service errors from Alpha Insurance and the service ace now from the new recruit here in AEP Cabstars.
2-point lead for the red shirts, and de la Noche gets another ace.
Back-to-back service aces from De La Noche. Targeting zone 1.
Just in his second season, J-Rock de la Noche really blossoming as a pro here in the Spikers turf. Camposano
Ooh,
gets the side out.
finally a point here from Camposano. The defense not there for AEP Cabstars. Not in the right place.
Edward Camposano, former National Capital Region MVP in the Palarong Pambansa. Another service fault. That's at least 3 of the 8 points of the Cabstars from service faults of the Insurance Protectors. We have a technical timeout.
You're still watching the Spikers Turf Open Conference 2026, where power meets passion. Now, the Alpha Insurance Protectors are back, and they are so excited, as head coach Mike Santos actually shared with me his deeper lineup. Of course, added to the lineup, we have here JM Ronquillo, Jao Umandal, and Cian Silang, all from Signal. At sabi nga sa akin ni Coach Mike, he was very happy kasi sila mismo yung lumapit sa kanya to join the team. It was basically perfect timing for him, as he was looking for added leadership the time they called. With that being said, ang goal ni Coach Mike this conference is to finally secure that Final Four spot for the Alpha Insurance Protectors. Back to you, Eric and Jamie.
All right, thanks very much, Ayana. Well, so far, they are trailing. This is now the biggest deficit against the Insurance Protectors after that drop shot by Vince Abrot. Combination play. Ooh, another terrific defensive play at the net by the Cabstars.
And Eric, not only that, Alpha Insurance has tallied a total of 4 service aces in this set alone. So a lot of the points from AEP Cabstars are from the errors of Alpha.
And how about EJ Casanya with a block? Casanya, the jump set, Abrot against a triple block. The run continues. The Cabstars now up by 5.
You know, the Cabstars really playing as a team. They are talking in between the sequences. And that's a good set by Casanya against that triple block of Alpha Insurance.
Doria is part of the 2023 Cabstars lineup. Anima sets it up. And bad dig for Doria. And finally a side out here for the Insurance Protectors.
And that swing going to Doria was diggable.
Meantime, Kela Polinario with a full front line. Cajolo, Anima, and Baptista. Let's see what they do here. First, they got to get a stop. Guaza. Quick side out. The Cabstars. Rock and roll.
You know, this tandem here, Casanya knowing who to set at the right time. And Guaza Up against no block here in Alpha Insurance.
Short serve. Apolinario picks it up. Takeda off system play. Baptista with a drop pancake save by Casanya. Chance ball for the Insurance Protectors. Lorenzo pops it up. Two players collide for the Cabstars. Another chance ball for the Insurance Protectors. Cajolo finally puts it away.
Cajolo, he's been waiting for that swing. That lefty spiker targeting in between Zone 1 and Zone 2. And now has a total of 4 points here in set number 1.
Already a full rotation for the Insurance Protectors with Baptista serving again. There's a nice block. Camposano turns Abrot away.
Perfect timing on that block, but no coverage here from AEP Cabstars. One-on-one.
A little two-point run for the Insurance Protectors. Good pass. Whew. Wow, J-Rock de la Noche with a little hang time and that swing to get the side out.
Now, Eric, we did mention these new recruits here for Cabstars filling in for this team, and De La Noche is definitely one of them coming from the right pin.
Thunder to serve, but that one swallowed up by the net. Second service fault for Vince Abrot.
That is their first service error of the match, compared to the 4 of Alpha Insurance. Good serve.
Bad pass by Lorenzo. Cross-court hit by De La Noche. 1-2 for Abunyawan. Guaza is turned away. Camposano with block number 2.
That is 2 for 2 in the blocks for Camposano. He knew that Guaza was going to be aggressive at the net. Timed that perfectly. Yet again, no coverage by Cabstars.
So after trailing by 5 points, Insurance Protectors are within 2. Bad pass again. Malaiba. Now one way outside for PB Malaiba.
A bit underneath the ball in that sequence.
And now the Insurance Protectors with a chance to tie on this serve by Billy Adima. But he throws the chance away. Easy point for the Cabstars.
Total of 5 service errors here in set number 1 by Alpha Insurance.
So that's 5 of the 14 points to the Cabstars, who are back up by 2. Michael Doria on your screens. And now Nastin Guaza, former PCU Dolphin.
Ooh.
Good pass. Combination play. Camposano knocks it in.
You could see Doria actually blocking with the middles here against Alpha Insurance. Take a look at that. Perfect sequence.
I mean, on paper, Jamie, because of the 2 conference experience, Insurance Protectors should be the favorites in this matchup. BB Malaiba knocks it in. But there's so many veterans as well in this lineup of Coach Antiporta, especially those 4 players from the Super Spikers who are part of the starting lineup of the Cabstars.
And they're just not any new recruits.
Yeah,
solid recruits.
You talk about 2 Alas Pilipinas players, Casanya and Lorenzo.
Exactly.
Jerak.
But it all boils down to how they will be fluid here with the Cabstars.
And that could be a clue to your question as a hit into the net by De La Noche.
You know, this is bound to happen, Eric. These errors for Cabstars. Yes, you do have these new recruits, but it's all about that chemistry, how you will bond on and off the court. A lot of factors that you have to look at.
Chance to tie on the Camposano serve. Lorenzo with a short pass. De La Noche through the double block. Oh, beautiful save by Manato. And that one tipped over by Baptista. Casanya goes to Malaiba.
Ooh.
Down the line, the dig goes over.
Good dig.
Cabstars with an opportunity here. Cross court by De La Noche. Malaiba.
Oh!
What another gorgeous dig by Manato. Rally continues, the longest one of the opening set. De La Noche. This one goes over. Battle at the net. Apolinario to the pipe. Drop shot is good. No!
Stepping violation.
Stepping on the attack line for Camposano.
What a rally.
That was thrilling, to say the least. A 2-point lead for the Cabstars. Second technical timeout.
Masaya kasi sobrang welcoming nila sa amin. Kaming mga bagong players sa Cabstars. Excited kasi lahat kami ready and prepared na magpakita ng talent ngayon sa Spikers Turf. And alam ko naman na itong team na to kahit nakakabalik lang, is excited maglaro sa team. And mapakita na kaya namin sumabay sa malalakas na team.
Well, welcome back to our coverage of the Spikers Turf. This is the opening game of the Open Conference. And a point by Jepoy Abunyawan to make it a close game again. Biggest lead for the Cabstars was 5 points. Casanya sets it up. Doria is turned away.
Ooh.
Pancake save is good for Malaiba. And the push for Baptista.
Baptista, what a power tip going down the line. Defense was not ready, talking about the Cabstars, but good effort in the pancake save, but just not enough in that sequence.
Tied at 16. Jepoy Abunyawan and the former Tamarao. Malaiba with a perfect pass. A little too low for a back row hit by De La Noche. And Baptista with back-to-back points. The Insurance Protectors are on top by 1.
We love the stare down after that swing of Baptista against that double block, off the block.
And the fans of the Insurance Protectors happy that they're back. This is their third conference in the Spikers Turf, while their opponents just in their second conference. Cabstars, their last conference here in the Spikers Turf was back in 2023, the Invitational. Bad pass by Vince Abrot. This is going to be an off-system play. In fact, an easy over. Cajolo passes. Baptista, nowhere to go.
That's a good block by AEP Cabstars. 17 all.
First substitution for Coach Antiporta as Miggy Dasig, who was part of the lineup of the Cabstars from 2023 out of San Pedro, Laguna. I'm sure a lot of Lagunenses and people from Kabuya watching. Baptista with another hit. Malaiba pops it up. Abrot against a double block, splits it and scores.
That's a good swing by Abrot. Hopefully there's a replay after that sequence, wanting to see the blocking of Alpha Insurance. Let's take a look at that one more time. Looking at the blocking of Billy Anima. Yes, there's an open window in between that block.
2-point run. Cabstars back up by 1. Combination play. And Baptista again. He scored the last 3 of the Insurance Protectors.
Seeing simple plays by Alpha Insurance, and off the block by Baptista, not the tallest of spikers here in Alpha Insurance, but he does make a way against that block of Cabstars.
Tied at 18, opening set. Apolinario with a serve, short pass by Abrot. Manato pops it up. Lorenzo back to Abrot against a double block. Cajolo. Whoa! What a block!
And Guaza is pumped up after that monster block. You have to look at that one more time.
And that will put the Cabstars back up by 1, 19-18. Anima ties the game.
Good strategy by Billy Anima to go for that tip on that B quick attack. 19 all here in set number 1.
A really tight start for both teams who are fairly new in the Open Conference. Back-to-back points for Billy. And Insurance Protectors are up by 1. A timeout here for Coach Antiporta and the Cabstars.
Yung floor defense natin, hindi tayo makakuha ng depensa. So, try na yung basahin. Tapos, Vince, target tayo, Vince. Vince, target tayo, ha? Usap na lang kayo ni Lorenzo, ha? Sige lang, bawi tayo. Learn tayo. End game na tayo, ha?
Hey, Cubs!
Well, here's that last shot by Anima off an overpass, which gave the Insurance Protectors a 1-point lead. Now, all smiles is Billy. One more timeout remaining for the Cabstars. Still 2 timeouts left for the Insurance Protectors. Off-speed hit for De La Noche. Apolinario goes to Camposano, blocked by Abrot. Baptista sets it up to Edward. Edward knocks it in.
No, Alpha was actually down at the start of set number 1. They were unable to find their groove, but now they are in the 20 mark here, 19-21, and you can see Cabstars still trying to figure out their rhythm here in set number 1.
Guaza off a zero tempo play.
Perfect receive and even better swing by Guaza here. Good strategy by EJ Casania.
Side out, Cabstars only down by 1. Baptista with a pass. Apolinario reverses, and Cajolo gives the Insurance Protectors another 2-point lead.
That's another swing off the block for Alpha Insurance, which gives them a total of 16 attack points so far against the 7 of Cabstars.
Meantime, Jomar Soriano checks in for the Cabstars, and Shan Silang will come in for the Insurance Protectors. So they've got a 2-setter setup in this lineup for Coach Mike Santos. Serve is going to be outside for Silang.
Very untimely misserve by Silang.
So Silang back out, Anima is back in, although Takeda will come in for defensive purposes here as Guaza serves for the Cabstars. Guaza returns the favor, so not really the time for a service fault with such a close set at hand.
Back-to-back misserves between both teams. It is the first game here in the Open Conference.
In the meantime, Ronchet Villegas, former Tamarao, checks in with former Green Spiker J.M. Ronquillo. A double sub for Coach Kid Santos. And a full front line for the Insurance Protectors. Lorenzo with a good pass. De La Noche bounces it off the block and scores.
You see De La Noche is one of the powerhouse spikers here for Cabstars. EJ Casania completely tallying him on the right pin. And you could see Alpha Insurance unable to get a block.
De La Noche scored a couple of aces early in this set. Villegas off-system play, tosses it up, and Ronquillo, quick impact off the bench. 2 set points for the Insurance Protectors. Last timeout for Coach Antiporta.
Oh guys, okay pa yan, ha? ha, Jay? Set the tempo, ha? Sige lang. PB. Napadaan sa'yo, ha? Oo, madami pwede mangyari yan. Pas tayo. Pag kaya mo, kunin mo na agad, ha? O, go. Tara.
So no more timeouts remaining for the Cabstars. Still 2 timeouts for the Insurance Protectors. Here's J.M. Ronquillo. How often did we see this during his time with the Super Spikers?
Right?
And except for the lettering, I mean, you could almost mistake yourself when you look at this lineup of Casanya and De La Noche.
It's all mixed, yeah.
You could almost fool yourself into thinking it's still with Signal. Doria gets it through. Good side out.
A lot of success here for Cabstars when it comes to the middle attacking. And you could see the blocking unstable in that sequence by Alpha Insurance.
1 set point save. Vince Abrot returns for the Cabstars. But still 1 set point remaining. And Ronquillo will deliver the winning shot of the opening set.
But what a swing down the line by Ronquillo to give Alpha Insurance set number 1.
Outstanding contribution off the bench. The last 2 points of the Insurance Protectors delivered by J.M. Ronquillo. And the first set is in the books. Insurance Protectors winning by a couple of points, 25-23 against the Cabstars. Back here in San Juan, where the Insurance Protectors found themselves in a bit of trouble at the start of the set. We're down by as many as 5, but they turned it around midway and were able to carve out a 2-point win in the end against the Cabstars.
You know, although Eric, Alpha Insurance tallied quite a few errors in set number 1, Camposano, Cojolo, both tallied 5 points each. And of course, Baptista with a total of 6 points. And when looking at the lineup of Cabstars, their last conference here was back in 2023. So it's been a while since they've all played together. As we see the set 1 stats here, Alpha Insurance tallying a total of 18 attacks compared to the 9 of Cabstars. Although Alpha did tally a total of 8 errors in set number 1, which were mostly from service errors. So that is something that they do need to tweak moving forward entering set number 2.
Taking a look at the players on the court, little adjustment for Coach Santos as Ronquillo, who scored the last 2 points of the first set for the Insurance Protectors in the starting lineup. That hit going outside, no touch. So that is the first point for the Cabstars, who have the same starting 6 as the first set. There will be a challenge for Coach Santos.
It's an early challenge here by Alpha Insurance, a net fault challenge.
Oh, that's interesting. I thought they were going to go for a block touch
Block
challenge.
touch, right.
So a very close first set. We haven't seen Jao Mandal play for the
Right.
Insurance Protectors yet. He is the only Insurance Protector, along with actually JJ Javelona. So a couple of Insurance Protectors we have yet to see in action today. Their first game of the Open Conference.
A lot of weapons for Alpha Insurance. This is overall a double round robin here, the preliminary.
Edward Camposano having a chat with the first referee, Fernando Velarde. And I believe there is no data. It will not be reviewable, so
So an inconclusive challenge.
the point goes to the Cabstars to start off set number 2. So far, a couple of points for Guaza and a service fault. Bautista has had a productive first set. So far, 6 points. He is the top scorer for the white shirts. You thought after the first set they'd shake off these service faults, but not the case.
They had a total of 8 errors in set number 1. First game jitters, of course.
De La Noche had a couple of aces. Apolinario, the reverse. Ronquillo bounces it off Malaiba. Casanya goes to PB. Drop shot, Ronquillo, good save. And that off-speed will be no good.
Good try going for that off-speed attack, but the block was already there for AEP Cabstars. Triple block in that hang time of Doria.
So 1 error and 1 bad shot. I was about to say a 2-point lead for the Cabstars, but then back-to-back service faults for the red shirts, and it's a 1-point game. Billy Anima played for National University in high school and then La Salle in college. From the pipe, Abrot comes up short.
I'm looking at the demeanor of EJ Casanya. He's very patient with his spikers. Of course, he is new to the team, but he has to be that confident leader, being the starting setter here for AEP Cabstars.
2 in a row scored by the Insurance Protectors. We have a tied game at 3-all. Abrot tries again, misses this time. So 1 was into the net, 1 was behind
outside
the back line. So that's 3 straight errors from the service fault to the 2 attack faults by Abrot, and a 1-point lead now for the Insurance Protectors. Good pass by Malaiba. Malaiba, what a dig there for Baptista. Doria with a block. Apolinario, one-handed push for Camposano is good.
You know, that's good coverage by Billy Anima during that sequence, and a power tip against AEP Cabstars.
That's with the left hand too for Camposano.
Right, adjusting.
So this is 4 in a row scored now by the Insurance Protectors. Good pass by Malaiba to the back row. De La Noche with a hit. Nice dig again for Baptista. Ronquillo rolls it over. Lorenzo to Malaiba against a triple block. Baptista again with a dig. Apolinario to Ronquillo. Rejected coverage by Camposano. Camposano gets it back, pushes it. Malaiba digs it up. Another back row attack. Apolinario picks it up. What a save. Camposano rolls it over. From defense to offense, the Insurance Protectors on a 5-point run.
Camposano just guiding that roll shot in the back of that defense pattern of Cabstars. Out of system play and just finding the holes. Good placement.
How about that pass by Apolinario? With his
Perfect.
back to the net.
Perfect.
Casanya back to De La Noche. And again, the digging of Baptista has been something else. Net touch against Doria. This is 6 in a row now, scored by the Insurance Protectors.
No, Eric, the last time Cabstars did play here in the Spikers turf was quite a few years ago.
Yep.
This is bound to happen. Fairly a new team with new recruits coming from the Signal Super Spikers, and this is all about the learning curve here, growing pains that comes with being a new team and how they will make those in-game adjustments.
Apolinario with a dig. The set by Camposano, Ronquillo. Casanya picks it up. Lorenzo will play setter. Malaiba through the double block, but kept alive by Ronquillo. Abunyawan turns around, pushes it. Casanya to the pipe. Abrot. Another excellent save, but no second touch for the Insurance Protectors as that 6-point run ends with that side out by the Cabstars.
No, Abrot going from the back row, coming from the back row rather, actually softened his swing and targeted zone 1. Defense was not ready for Alpha Insurance.
Camposano pops it up. Oh, Jepoy Abunyawan. What a shoot set from Apolinario.
Perfect sequence from Alpha Insurance.
Up by 4, first technical timeout, set number 2.
You're still watching the Spikers Turf Open Conference 2026. Now, after 3 years, they are finally back and ready to show their dominance, talking about the AEP Cabstars. And even if they only started training as a team 2 weeks ago, they are coming in aggressive. According to head coach Kitty Anteporta, it actually took them a while to get to this point because in their first training together, super tahimik daw ng team because they were very intimidated by the 5 vets' presence. But Coach Kitty reminded them that they shouldn't be threatened but motivated to showcase their skills even more. And so far, for their first game, so far so good for the AEP Cabstars. Back to you, Eric and Jamie.
All right, thank you, Ayana. Well, they are trailing 1-0 now. They did have a 5-point lead in the first set, but this second set right now in control by the Insurance Protectors.
I mean, they just started training 2 weeks ago, so the chemistry is slowly being built. And like I mentioned earlier, Eric, this is bound to happen with this team.
Ronquillo came off the bench in the first set, part of the starting lineup here in set number 2. That service wide.
Nearing our direction.
Didn't even make it between the antennas. Well, there's a huge cushion right now where the Insurance Protectors are sitting. Currently up by 4. They led by as many as 5. What a combination play. That was a little low, but still, Camposano able to slam it home.
A total of 9 points in this match. You're right, Eric, the set was a bit too low, but he was able to make a way in that sequence.
Good serve, but a great pass by Lorenzo. Guaza nails that one.
Pisania, Guaza, these are the players that will make an impact here for Capstars. Guaza needing to be activated a bit more here to rack up some points.
Casaña's got a full front line, so plenty of options for the Capstars. Ronquillo with a drop. Abrot touches it. There's De La Noche, misses the mark.
That's a good set from EJ, but too wide for De La Noche.
So right now, these two teams dancing between a 5 and a 4-point margin. Jepoy Abunyawan. Nice looking serve, but another good pass by Lorenzo. Abrot slaps it off the block of Apolinario.
It's a quick side out for AEP Cabstars. Abrot up against that tall wall of Alpha Insurance. Excuse me, the shorter blocker in Alpha Insurance.
I was about to say,
my bad.
Apolinario is really probably my height. So I
apologize.
I don't see myself tall. So especially in this setting.
Excuse me. I thought it was Billy Anima.
It's because you're sitting down. That's why you think everyone's tall.
I had to look again. My bad. I thought it was Billy Anima.
Short pass there by Lorenzo. Balaiba hits it off the block.
Alpha Insurance still up by 4 here in set number 2. DJ Casañas pushing that set to the left pin. Good sequence.
Guaza. Ooh, second service fault, at least in this set, for Nastin Guaza. There's Coach Antiporta. His second conference in the Spikers turf. Oh, Baptista has had a good first set. And that's the reason why he's still part of the starting lineup here in set number 2 for the Insurance Protectors. De La Noche. And every time De La Noche swings, there's that little pause before he hits the ball, which gives it that really distinct sound.
Right, right. That's a perfect set. EJ giving him that hitting point, allowing him to go down the line.
4-point game. Oh, what a set. Good coverage, though, defensively by the Capstars. Malaiba pushes it. There's a block by Anima.
Now that's the taller block I was talking about. And Billy Anima. That hang time just works for Alpha Insurance.
Now that I'd agree with. Anima should be about 5'11", maybe 6 feet tall, right? Serve is out for Billy. Still a 4-point game, though. You could call this a comfortable margin for the Insurance Protectors. The Capstars have not been able to make a good run. Malaiba with a serve. Apolinario back to Abunyawan.
Abunyawan, what a swing. Good reception, even better swing. No block found for Capstars.
And now a no-setter lineup for Coach Santos as Cajolo checks in for Apolinario. So he's experimenting with this tall front line, looking to get a kill block.
Yep, usually for blocking purposes.
Good set by Casaña. Cajolo
still good.
Saves it.
Oh,
No,
that's outside.
apparently not.
Ooh, the violent reactions.
It looked like it was just barely in, but then Fernando Velarde blew the whistle, saying it was outside of the antenna. And there is no challenge for this violation. That's a little surprising because the ball passed right in front of the second referee, who did not blow the whistle. It was Fernando Velarde, who was on the opposite side, who called the violation. Shan Silang back in the lineup, so he will be the setter for the Insurance Protectors. Camposano, two-handed push. De La Noche from the back row rejected. He picks up that ball. Abrot. Baptista Silang, Camposano. Abrot with a second touch. Easy over. Popped up by Takeda. Cajolo. Got it.
Cajolo going cross.
And the lead is back to 5 for the Insurance Protectors at the second technical timeout.
Siguro laki ng adjustment na nagawa ko ngayon. Parang hanggang ngayon nag-a-adjust pa rin ako sa mga nakakasama ko kasi which is bago lang ako sa team nila. Sila almost pioneer na sila sa team nila. Ang tagal na sila magkakasama. So yung sistema nila pati yung bonding sa team, lagi ako sumasama sa kanila para alam ko yung kung paano yung sistema meron sa kanila.
Well, we haven't seen Umandal in action along with JJ Javelona. But so far, no problem for the Insurance Protectors. Although there's the two players we just talked about, Javelona and Umandal.
Hasn't seen court action just yet. He mentioned in that interview that he's still adjusting to the system. He's joining, the team bonding on and off the court. We should definitely see more of him this conference.
Left-handed swipe by Abrot hits the antenna, and the wait is over.
Right.
Jao Umandal checks in before we see Jao. Let's see this error on the swipe by Abrot. Jao is on the court for the first time today. Two-time best outside spiker, 2023 and 2025. And Anima, I think, gets the credit for the block here.
Anima has been on point this game.
A 6-point lead now for the Insurance Protectors. Timeout for the Cabstars.
Sige lang, tatagay lang natin to ha. Tapos, di ba, yung huddle natin kanina, dapat makipag-communicate tayo. Hindi ibig sabihin nag-error na tayo, tapos na tayo. Di ba? May pagkakataon pa tayong bumawi. Hindi, tsatagay lang talaga natin. Tapos enjoy! Yes. Yung mukha nyo! Wala pa, hindi pa naman kasi tapos. Masyado mabigat eh. Masyado mabigat. O, kaya. Go, tara.
Hey, Cabs!
Yes, wala mo na si Mangot.
Well, you love the positivity. This is their biggest deficit, and yet you hear the voices in the huddle. Kaya pa to. That's all you got to do. Be positive and try to work out this deficit 1 point at a time.
You could see that coach did mention that they're a bit too stiff. Volleyball is a fun sport.
Yep.
Of course, it is the first game, but this should be an enjoyable time.
Abrot, off-system play. Coverage by Malaiba. De La Noche splits the block and gets the side out for the Cabstars.
It's a much-needed side up for the Cabstars here in set number 2. And De La Noche rather has been the shining light in this game.
Great pass by Takeda.
Ooh, that's too low.
Drop shot by Umandal. Now it's picked up. Malaiba against a double block. Guaza keeping it alive. Sean Silang to Umandal. Nowhere to go. Former teammate with the block. One of his former teammates, either Guaza or De La Noche.
No, Silang, I believe, is going for that shoot set to Umandal for 2 times in that sequence.
So De La Noche with a block, a break point. But only a 2-point run for the Cabstars as Abrot serves it outside. Now, Soriano back in for the second time today. Jomar Soriano for the Cabstars, and then a 2-man sub for Coach Santos as Apolinario and Ronquillo check back in for Shansilan and Ranskaholo. Full front line for Kel Apolinario. Casanya to Guaza. Now one popped up by Apolinario. Ronquillo. What a dig for Jomar Soriano. And this pass, though, goes over. So a chance ball for the white shirts. Ronquillo again. This one way outside.
Too strong for Ronquillo.
Still a 4-point cushion for the Insurance Protectors, who are playing very relaxed and loose here in set number 2. Guaza. Good pass by Zhao. Zhao gets it back. And another block. Seems like De La Noche has Umandal's number here in set number 2.
You know the patterns of each other here. That's the second block in a row against Zhao Umandal. Umandal still trying to find his footing here in Alpha Insurance.
3-point game. Ronquillo is blocked by Malaiba. Umandal, and this time gets back against the block of Cabstars and gets the side out.
That is his first point of the match here. Zhao Umandal.
Four-point lead. Umandal off the bench. His first stint for the Insurance Protectors. Malaiba with a pass. De La Noche down the line. It hit the antenna, so that's going to be a point for the Insurance Protectors. Ooh, they're going to review it.
Looked like that did hit the antenna.
Yeah. A little surprising, but
this is on the swing of De La Noche.
yep. In the 2023 participation by the Cabstars, it was the Invitational Conference. They finished 7th, made it all the way to the quarterfinals. That feels like a wasted challenge by the Cabstars. I mean, it was pretty clear cut right from the beginning. The antenna wiggled so much it could not have been anything else but the ball. So the lead back to 5. Biggest was 6 for the Insurance Protectors. They're 4 points away from a 2-0 advantage. He went for it.
High risk, high reward for Zhao Umandal.
(17) serving 21. Chance ball. Casanya. Lorenzo. Now Malaiba. Ooh. So that will make it a 5-point lead again. As JJ Javelona, the veteran of the Insurance Protectors, checks in. So everybody's played for Coach Santos already in their very first game of the Open Conference. Soriano with a good pass. Malaiba.
That's inside. Down the line, Malaiba able to redeem himself after that hitting error prior. But Alpha Insurance still has the lead up by 4.
PB Malaiba out of DLSU Dasmariñas. A Spikers Turfs veteran. This is his 3rd team. Ronquillo. Will get the side out.
JM Ronquillo coming from the right pin. Alpha up by 5.
A final timeout for Coach Antiporta and the Cabstars.
guys, dala pa yan ha. Pass lang. Tapos pag inatake natin, aggressive lang tayo sa atake natin. Walang dadalang isip. PB, huwag mo dalang isip. Laban mo na ilaban. May coverage naman tayo eh. Huwag kayong matakot magkamali. Go. Tara.
Well, it's been a challenging set number 2 for the Cabstars. They had a better first set. They led by as many as 5, but here they've trailed right from the beginning and never really got their rhythm. Well, check that. They led 1-0, but then after they gave up the lead, they never really recovered.
Yep, they're just unable to sustain that momentum.
Oh, Soriano with a beautiful pass. Jomar Soriano misses though.
A lot of good elements though, Eric, that we're seeing in Cabstars. Good setting by EJ Casania. I think it's just the tweaking of the spiking that needs to be a bit better for Cabstars.
It's 6 set points for Ronquillo. And they're not going to waste any of them. The service ace for Ronquillo, as this is a more comfortable performance, more confident look for the Insurance Protectors, winning by 7 in set number 2, and they have a 2-0 advantage going to the third against the Cabstars.
We welcome you back inside the Phil Oil Center for your coverage of the Open Conference on opening day. It's a matchup between the Alpha Insurance Protectors versus the AEP Cabstars. Now, Alpha Insurance is now up 2-0. They are playing more as a team compared to set number 1, and they did tally quite a few attack points in set number 1 and moving on to set number 2. Now, as for AEP Cabstars, this is a team that just started training just 2 weeks ago. They're still gelling, they're still building that chemistry. As we see the set 2 stats here, when it comes to attacks, the disparity not too far. Alpha with 10, Cabstars with 9. But take a look at the errors of Cabstars. They tallied a total of 12 errors in set number 2, and in set number 1 they tallied a total of 4 errors. So the errors are just piling up here for the Cabstars squad, and you can see EJ Casania being that leader and very patient when it comes to his spikers. And as for Alpha Insurance, we saw a glimpse of Jao Umandal earlier, and he got, I believe, 1 point in that set.
That's right. So a better looking Insurance Protectors in set number 2. Larger winning margin, and it looks like they're really warming up to the very first game in the Open Conference. Meanwhile, a lot of things to adjust for the Cabstars. They didn't have as many errors, double digit here in set number 2. And really is not going to cut it, especially against an experienced Insurance Protectors.
Yep, they did tally 12 errors in set number 2. But I did mention a lot of good elements. The attacking has been okay. I believe more polishing when it comes to the defensive pattern. tweaking in terms of the serving, knowing the weaker server on the other side. And as for Alpha Insurance, they're a team that's still also building chemistry as well. I mean, it's only opening day here in this open conference, so a lot of learnings between both teams.
And, you know, a lot of adjustments moving forward, and they're going to have time to do that. Jerac de la Noche has had some glimpses of brilliance, as we usually see him with, but there have been many errors as well on the attacks. So this double round robin elimination obviously will give them a lot of chances to fine-tune the offense and their defense as well moving forward. He's one of the top scorers right now, one of 4 super spikers who have joined the Cabstars for the 2026 Open Conference. So this team by Coach Antiporta, they play a lot in, you know, other commercial leagues. So they're solid, but then the additions obviously will have to gel a lot better. In the meantime, Coach Santos also with a lot of new additions from the on hiatus super spikers. But for this team, obviously their 3rd conference in the Spikers turf, it's easier for them to gel together and share those skills more seamlessly.
That's right. I mean, each player has their own weakness, strength. Now it's just up to this squad, the Alpha Insurance squad, and how they will perform throughout this conference. I mean, this conference, Eric, is not necessarily that long. So each game carries a lot of weight, and you just want to reach to that top 4 first after that double round robin, which will lead to the semifinals. And of course, the semifinals is another single round robin, and battle for 3rd championship is all a best of 3 series.
3rd set underway. It's the same starting 6 for Coach Antiporta. Meanwhile, Coach Santos, as Ronquillo scores an almost completely new starting lineup, except for Billy Anima, because Javelona is in the starting lineup along with Villegas, Umandal, and we haven't mentioned Rey Sabanal. Is also playing for the first time. He just got subbed out by Manato.
So you see Coach still finding a good mix, right?
Abrot joking around with his former teammate Ronquillo after he got the better of JM in that little sequence.
It's off the block swing and point for Cabstars.
1-all, set 3. Umandal with a beautiful pass. Ronquillo hits the antenna.
Ronquillo trying to soften that swing, change speed, unfortunately hits the antenna in that sequence. He had the right idea, needs to better that execution.
So first lead for the Cabstars here in set 3. They are down 2-0. Villegas to Anima, rejected. Umandal with coverage. Ronquillo against a double block. There's Manato picking it up. Ronquillo pushes it. Check that, Takeda with a dig for the Insurance Protectors. Villegas, here's Takeda, sets it up to Umandal. And Umandal with his 2nd point of the match.
Out of system play, the bump set a bit too far off the net for Jao Umandal, but he is a very decorated open spiker and can adjust to anything.
Umandal in this full front line for the Insurance Protectors. They've got Sabanal and Ronquillo. So let's see what Villegas plays with. Smart shot by De La Noche.
You know, players really get frustrated after those types of off the block. It does look easy on TV, but in real time, not the easiest. And those are the ones you have to take care of the most.
Out of Nagcarlan, Laguna. Michael Doria with the serve. Villegas to Umandal. Off the block and outside, hits it off his former teammate, Nas Guarza.
Guarza just shaking his head after that swing. That is a back-to-back points for Jao Umandal.
That is a tough cover for anyone. Ronquillo. Going to be an off-system play here. Cabstars, easy over. Manato picks it up. Sabanal What a save by Casanya. Chance ball again. Second in a row. Combination play, Umandal. And there is going to be a net touch.
Right. A net violation by Guaza.
Yeah, they called on Guaza. Guaza says, no, it wasn't me. So they're going to challenge this.
I think his jersey scraped the net after that block.
All right, this is going to be interesting, the result of this challenge, because there was a point in time about a couple of years ago when they said the jersey, the hair, they don't count anymore as a net touch.
But now,
That's why. We'll see.
Let's
If they
see.
say this is a net touch, then they, again, adjusted the rules.
it's a net fault challenge called by Cabstars.
First game of your triple header today. You're going to see the champions of the Invitational Conference, the King Crunchers, in action later against VNS Always Bright Ladder Creek Griffins. That is a mouthful. And then in our third game today, we've got the 3B Event Masters taking on the third placers in the Open Conference. That's a no net touch.
So they allow the jersey now to scrape the net.
First successful challenge for Coach Christian Antiporta. Savoge Aesthetics also a improved team.
Yes.
Because of the, I mean, they're
Insertions.
pretty,
They're already
pretty
good.
Yeah, they're a pretty strong team. Third placers in the Open Conference last year. And how good will they be?
Now even better.
Yeah. So.
And they've
that's
been
why.
trying to reach the finals for the past 2 years. So maybe this could be the year.
Yep. Ronquillo.
Ooh,
That one outside for De La Noche.
De La Noche trying to swing that down the line. Good reception, good set by EJ.
1 point lead for the Insurance Protectors, back on top after they started the third set 1-0. Service wide for Ronquillo.
Back-to-back service aces, service errors rather, by both teams.
De La Noche, that toss a little too far ahead, but he able to adjust. Umandal,
Ooh,
it's on the line.
what a swing. I mean, lucky for Alpha Insurance, they have Jao
Oh, yeah.
Umandal now in their lineup,
And to think Umandal is already 27. It looks like he hasn't lost a step.
right?
Lorenzo, Palaiba. Umandal keeping this one alive. Manato goes to Ronquillo. Oh, down the line hit against an Alas Pilipinas libero and scores.
That's a good sequence out of system play by Alpha Insurance. Good bump set, and Ronquillo coming from the back.
2 point lead, Insurance Protectors. And again, this time Jao went for it.
To Ronquillo earlier, got that back row kill, has a total now of 7 points.
Malaiba. Good pass by Takeda. Combination play. Ronquillo off the chest of
Still
Lorenzo. And Ronchet Villegas, you don't see him spike very often.
Villegas getting his first point of the match.
Ronchet Villegas, the most veteran player for Coach Santos at 31 years old. Casanya, Abrot down the line.
That's a good swing. Cabstars still trying to rack up more points here. They're still trying to see what works with who, the tandems that don't work, that work as well. But this is a tight set number 3.
Service out for Guaza. And a 2-point lead at the first technical timeout for the Insurance Protectors against the Cabstars. Set 3.
You're still watching the Spikers Turf Open Conference 2026, where power meets passion. Now, as mentioned earlier, Jao Umandal is seeing action with a different team, and that is the Alpha Insurance Protectors. Now, of course, Jao actually mentioned to me that the reason why he chose Alpha specifically is because he wanted a new environment. He was scouting the different teams, and he saw that he has worked with majority of the different players already, except for the players in Alpha. He wanted to experience a new flavor of players, a different playing style, because he knows that this will trigger his growth as a player even more. He also mentioned that after feeling at home with Signal, he did not expect to feel so safe and at home right away with Alpha. Grabe raw yung pag-welcome sa kanya ng team, which motivated him even more to help the team grow. Back to you guys.
All right, thank you, Ayana. Well, any team will welcome a player of Umandal's caliber, for sure. And he's going to fit anywhere he goes.
Yes.
With the kind of skills he has.
Probably thanking him every day.
Meanwhile, Michael Doria scoring for the Cabstars. Gets the side out. Cut shot by Ronquillo, dug by De La Noche. Abrotes blocked. Malaiba with coverage. De La Noche off the block.
That's a good play by Cabstars. Off the block in De La Noche. A better production we're seeing and more consistency by Cabstars. EJ. We love that tandem between him and De La Noche.
Tied game at 8. Short pass by Takeda. Off-system play. Abelona against a triple block. One-handed. Save there for Ronquillo. There's a dig in the back row by Malaiba. Abrot down the line. He got it again. 2 straight points for the Cabstars.
Now momentum is on the side of Cabstars here in set number 3. EJ Casania looking at the blockers on the other side before setting it to Abrot. Smart play.
1-point lead again for the Cabstars. Chance to make it 2. De La Noche turned away. Casania with coverage. Lorenzo goes to Abrot. And Abrot delivers his second straight point.
Takeda of Alpha Insurance actually talking to the blocking in Ronquillo and Anima. Out-of-system play coming from Cabstars. 4-0 run, but it is ended after that misserve of Casania.
JJ Havelona out of Dangkagan, Bukidnon, former Tamarao. Lorenzo, nice pass. Abrot has the hot hand, and he continues to score for the Cabstars.
The defensive pattern of Alpha Insurance not moving at all here against the offense of Cabstars.
Really low serve for Vince Abrot.
Untimely misserves by the Cabstars here in set number 3.
They stay on top, but only by a point. Anima serving down the line. Malaiba.
That's outside. Malaiba tried to go down the line.
Well, Malaiba was up against really tall blockers, so it was a really tough shot for him. Went for the fingers, but missed.
Ooh. A bit rushed in that serve by Billy Anima.
Another easy point to get the lead back for Doria and the Cabstars.
Good serve.
Really bad pass there by Umandal. A smart shot by Ronquillo. That was the only shot available.
Just veteran moves here by J.M. Ronquillo. You saw this set a bit too tight. The only way you had to score is on the hands of Guaza.
Looked like a slap on the
Yep.
ball, too. Tied game at 12. Lorenzo with a perfect pass. Malaiba against a single block, and he missed again. And this time he was against a small blocker.
Right. Some hesitation and I believe overthinking by this spiker here.
And once again, the Cabstars down by 1. Good pass again by Lorenzo.
Ooh.
And De La Noche gets the side out of our nice cross court against Ronquillo.
That's a good swing, opposite to opposite, going cross.
Ronchet Villegas to Ronquillo. That dig is a tough one for Lorenzo, so it's an easy over for the Cabstars. Umandal against a single block. Casanya turned him away, but the rally continues. Chance ball now for the Cabstars. Casanya to Malaiba. And finally, after 2 faulty hits, Malaiba gets the point.
To better production by Malaiba. You did mention Eric, he tallied 2 errors here in set number 3, but he changed the direction of his attack and changed that speed and softened his swing.
Break point for the Cabstars. They're back up by 1, but Ronquillo punches it through the block of Guaza.
To Ronquillo being the shining light here for Alpha Insurance when they need that immediate side out. They do lean to the veteran. And that is a broken block by Guaza.
Serving for the lead, Jao Mandal. Oh, that's a foot fault.
Stepping violation.
And he's so prone to either foot faults on the serve or foot faults from the attack line. That's one of his weaknesses.
Yep. Can't be perfect.
Yeah, can't have it all. So an easy point given up again by the Insurance Protectors. Here's a combination play. Javelona. That's dug with a smile by Lorenzo. Abroad hits the antenna.
Now you could see the bright spots of Cabstars, but it's followed by an error, a misserve, an attack outside, hitting the antenna. So just better execution.
Ray Sabanal with a serve. De La Noche, yes! And it is the Cabstars taking us to our second technical timeout. They're up by 1, third set.
Super happy kasi nakabili kami ng spiker surf ulit after 2 years. Sa 2 to 3 weeks preparation namin, siguro masasabi namin na kaya namin sumabay sa mga other teams and kalaban. Bibigyan namin sila ng magandang laban.
Miggy Dasig will be checking in right on cue. Well, they did give the Insurance Protectors a good fight in the first set, only lost by 2. But they got taken down by 7 points in the second set, 25-18. Right now, though, as Miggy Dasig prepares to serve, the Cabstars up by 1, 16-15, third set. Villegas to Ronquillo. De La Noche. Here's Abrot. Easy over. Villegas looking for a combination. No. Goes to Anima with a middle attack. Abrot off system play. Omandal with coverage in the back row. Here's Javelona. Pushes it against Casanya.
That's a good move by JJ Javelona, adjusting to the tight set up against Casanya in that sequence. The shorter blocker. A much needed point for Alpha Insurance here, 16-0.
Villegas with a full front line of Javelona, Anima, and Ronquillo. Manato. One-handed set for Villegas. The tip is dug. Abrot is turned away. Triple blocked by the Insurance Protectors.
They do have a triple block against Abrot here. Let's take a look at that replay one more time. Javelona getting a hand on that one.
And just like that, the Insurance Protectors are back up by one. Could serve. Almost an ace. Abrot off system play. Dug by Villegas. Umandal passes to Ronquillo, who fires it in.
Ronquillo already with the 10 points in this match. Keep talking about him being one of the veterans of this team and leading the pack.
Well, he came off the bench in the first set, but started in the last two sets. Short serve by Villegas. There's a block by Ronquillo. Casanya to De La Noche. Cross court is right on the line.
You know, if Alpha has Ronquillo, this team has De La Noche, one of the powerhouse spikers here of Cabstars.
Casanya will serve. He's got a full front line, but they've got to defend first. Anima with a side out.
This is his first point here in set number 3, I believe. Billy Anima getting a point on that tip.
Back to a 2-point cushion for the Insurance Protectors. Lorenzo passes. De La Noche. That one picked up by Javelona. Umandal with a left. That's turned away. Villegas to Anima again. Back-to-back points for Billy.
That's smart plays by Villegas, still giving Billy Anima another chance to score.
Biggest lead for the Insurance Protectors after this tip by Billy Anima, and a timeout called by Coach Antiporta and the Cabstars.
Tapos yung isa, pinakawalan mo uli, pakwalan. Para hindi ma-compromise yung depensa natin sa likod. O sige, malayo pa yan. Hey, tatlo pa yan. Malayo pa yan. Hey, tatlo yan. Dumikit nga tayo eh.
Wala tayong energy.
No, sipag lang sa black. Sipag lang. Sipag lang.
Hey, go!
Now they've got to find that fight in them. Could be the final set if they can't turn this around. Anima has scored the last 2 points of the Insurance Protectors, helping his team to a 3-point cushion. Malaiba with a short pass. De La Noche facing a double block, and he tried to go for the fingers, but missed.
So the point will be rewarded to Alpha Insurance, just 4 points away of getting their first win here in the Open Conference.
Good pass by Lorenzo. And a dig by Manato. Lorenzo plays setter. Here's De La Noche. Drop shot. Manato picks it up easily. Umandal.
Ooh, there's a touch.
Off the block.
Yep.
Of De La Noche.
De La Noche just trying to hide that one.
Oh, you can't.
You can't hide that.
With the way the
Nice
ball
try.
bounced.
Yep. But Zhao just able to adjust on that tight set.
Biggest lead for the Insurance Protectors. Now up by 5. Abrot.
Ooh.
Yes.
You know, Abrot has been trying to find ways to avoid that block here. And he finally gets a point here in set number 3.
Good pass by Javelona. Villegas goes to Ronquillo. Lorenzo trying to keep it alive, unsuccessful.
Lorenzo just unable to solidify that first pass.
Yep. In the meantime, down by 5 again. Coach Antiporta will use his last timeout.
Oh, go lang tayo, go lang. Guys, hindi tayo maka-side out, ha? Hindi tayo maka-side out. So, atakin. Sige lang. Wala naman ditong, di ba, nagagalit na pag nag-error kayo eh. Di ba lang natin? Tatagayin lang talaga natin to. Tatagayin lang tayo. Go. Sige lang.
Go. Dalawa pa sila.
You've got to admire Coach Antiporta and the way he's motivating his team. He knows it's a young team, and just newly put together, and allowing them to play freely without that guilt of when you make a mistake, the team will get down on you. Baptista, after a good first set, didn't play much in the second set. He's back on the floor here in the third set. What could be the finishing touches for the Insurance Protectors? De La Noche misfires again.
Chao Mandal. We love the competitive spirit.
Oh, he loves to tease some of his former teammates. This is going to be 6 match points for Baptista and the Insurance Protectors. Lorenzo, nice pass from the pipe. And Abrot connects.
Yep, and it worked. That back row swing by Abrot. 1 match point saved.
And Anima returns but subs out for Takeda for defensive purposes. Doria right now wishing for an ace for sure. Villegas, Umandal. Can't quite close it out yet. Guaza with a nice kill block.
Now Umandal has been blocked 3 times in total ever since he stepped foot for Alpha Insurance. But of course, Guaza knows his tendencies.
Played together for such a long time. Jomar Soriano returns for Michael Doria. 2 match points saved by the Cabstars, although the Insurance Protectors still have 4. There's a good pass. Villegas to Ronquillo. And there's your winning shot right there.
J.M. Ronquillo giving Alpha Insurance that finishing kick here. And they get their first win on opening day in this open conference. Ronquillo in double digits in this match and has been the shining light for Alpha Insurance.
After playing off the bench in the first set, he started in the second and third sets. J.M. Ronquillo with the winner. And it is official. Insurance Protectors with their first win, 3 sets, taking down the AEP Cabstars.
You're still watching the Spikers Turf Open Conference 2026 where power meets passion. And that concludes our first game for our triple header today, of course, with the Alpha Insurance Protectors taking home the win in just 3 sets. Joining us now, we have our best player of the game, JM Ronquillo, 12 points, 11 attacks, and 1 ace. JM, congratulations.
Thank you.
Okay, of course, JM, kita-kita naman natin na you're in your new team, and given the amount of time of preparation na you had, medyo konti lang yung time nyo to prepare. How were you able to get yung performance mo at peak pa rin today?
Syempre mahirap siya kasi kailangan ko pang i-earn yung trust ng coaches, yung kailangan ko pa mag-fit sa system ng Alpha. So talagang extra effort, time and effort sa court, on and off the court. So yun.
Now, of course, JM, kwento rin sa akin ni Coach Mike na parang isa ka sa mga leaders talaga at the moment sa team nyo. So, based on today's game, paano mo pa i-guide yung team mo to do better in the next games to come?
Siguro, sinishare lang namin yung knowledge na nakuha namin sa Signal and yung mga positive na pwede naming matulong sa team mentally at saka sa system. Sinasabi lang namin talaga sa bawat isa sa players. So yun.
Alright, we can't wait to see more from you guys, JM, and congratulations again.
Thank you.
JM Ronquillo, our best player of the game from the Alpha Insurance Protectors. Back to you, Eric and Jamie.
All right, thanks, Ayana. Congratulations, JM Ronquillo and the Insurance Protectors. What a game. What a start to the Open Conference.
What a start, and you can see that coach is slowly inserting his new players, trying to see what works, what doesn't work. This is all important on the games moving forward.
Umandal off the bench. Contribution, not major yet, but I'm sure moving forward he's going to have a bigger role for this team. But for the Cabstars, it was a good start. They had a nice first set. They led by as many as 5, but they could not recover in the next 2 sets.
And let's talk about the set 3 stats. The past 2 sets, the attacks have been almost the same. Alpha just getting 1 more than the Cabstars, but it's the errors. The errors have been piling up from set 1 to set 3 for the Cabstars. And if they minimize that, if they tweak that and sharpen their attacking, they should be in good hands.
Well, they're going to have to work on their next game. As they lose in 3 sets against the Insurance Protectors. Coming up, the first runner-up in the Open Conference in 2025, the King Crunchers taking on VNS. And then we have a 3rd game happening later, 3B Event Masters against the Spin Doctors. Thanks to our director, Rodeo Campo, for Ayana Perlas, Jamie La Victoria, I'm Eric Tipan. 3-set win, Insurance Protectors against the Cabstars in our first game of opening day. This is the Open Conference of the Spikers Turf right here on Signal.